It's about that time.
Pre-record on my count. 7, 6, 5, 4.
Here we go, Roger.
And on INSiiGHTS, two eyes in the middle. INSiiGHTS, where we always talk the talk.
And here I am, Mickey Clayton, the coach, and the Pulitzer Prize winning reporter, all the way from the Washington Post, Gazette, Herald, or whatever it is, Rick Brown. How you doing there, brother?
What's up, Coach? What's up, Coach? What's happening? What's really going on?
Well, you know, that's why we come on here, to be able to tell people what's going on. You know, what's our thing? Straight, no what?
Chaser. Straight no chaser.
Straight
None.
no chaser.
None.
That's what we do.
None. This is the chaser that I just do by itself.
There you go with the Coca-Cola. There you go with the Coca-Cola. Oh boy, you just won't. You won't let it go without starting something.
You want to be starting something, you got to be starting something. Yes, sir.
Oh, did we get a lot of positive feedback on last week's show? They said they loved hearing from the coaches. They said they loved hearing Erica Cromartie.
Mm-hmm.
They loved hearing from our girls. They said, especially the FAMU DRS girls, they spoke so well. So they were really impressed with that. Jimmy Tyson, first football coach we've had on in during the season. You know, earlier starting the season, we had Corey Fuller on. But our football coaches, as we say, they're always so busy trying to get them. You know, they have so many hats they wear. But
Yeah.
I heard people say that they didn't know that he was coaching the team. But because he spoke so well, and one of the things that they liked was they gave me a couple kudos with the questioning, and that's because I'd already told about his religious beliefs and him being a Christian man and living his faith. And they said that he embraced the questioning, shared that side of him, and said that they knew that he was using that as a ministry for his guys, and that they respected what he said so much. I had somebody tell us, Rick, that they thought it was one of the top 3 shows that we've ever done. They said it might be the best one you've ever done, but they said and they said the flow of it, the coaches, the kids, and you know, that's what it's all about. You know, it's about the kids. You know, hashtag it's about the kids. And I just wanted to share that with you and with our audience, you know, that have been there with us as we've traveled this journey.
Yes, thank you. We couldn't do it without. Well, we could do it without you, but it wouldn't be as fun. And messing with some of the crazy folks that's following us. We appreciate you. Shout out to Miss Miller, Dr. Miller, excuse me. I'm gonna get it right one day. I'm gonna get it right. You know, reporters are a little slow sometimes.
And you've said that, and she's already made a comment. She said, "Wow, Rick's head just covered the whole screen."
What? What? I tell you, I love them. I love them all.
Dr. Miller,
I think she's a Dallas fan.
Basketball player by way of Cairo, Georgia.
Cairo.
Played on the team with Teresa Edwards. I mean, we really appreciate it. She's on every week, and we have some regulars that are on every weekend. People who say they wait for me to send them the link every Tuesday. I said, well, you could come on. We're on live every Tuesday at 7 o'clock, and we try to stay consistent so people will know when we're on.
Consistency is the key. Consistency is always the key.
And towards the late on the show, we have your special group, the Pick'em Crew, some of them coming on. And if we don't have anybody but Todd, the Dallas Cowboy fan, you know, we don't need anybody else but Todd. You know, Todd has, first he said, I listened to the show. You keep going on about Sports Diva and Rick. I'm the one leading us Pick'em. I'm the one number one. He said, oh, but then you mentioned it. So He said, boy, everybody hates the Cowboy fans. So I said, Todd.
Oh,
Yeah,
I can't wait for him. Oh, I can't wait for Todd.
But I have a special guest with us today. He too is on time and having one heck of a season at John Paul II, John Paul II, JP2. They go by so many nicknames. And quiet as it's kept, when we first started doing INSiiGHTS, think I forgot. See, I'll never forget. First started doing INSiiGHTS. The person that only person we ever had really do marketing for us was a guy named Ed Hill. And he was actually the first one to sell some advertising for us and doing some things for us. And he had a vision that was different than mine. And we didn't part ways, but we went down different paths. Now he's on the same path I'm on now with high school. And I didn't understand, he really wanted us to start with the younger kids because his son was in the younger crew. See, if he had told me that, I might have understood it better. But I didn't figure out how to do the games for the little kids, even though I drove by the park to go home and they pulling up in there to watch those little kids play like it's a high school game. And I'm like, Ed had a better vision than what I did. I mean, they in there thick. And I'm like, wow. I mean, that's the little kids. But he's always had this community service involvement. It helps when your children are in it, but you still have to have a love and affinity to work with the kids to do it, regardless if your kid's in there or not. Coach Hill will tell you, a whole lot of games he got kids that parents never saw them play anytime. So being involved just because your children are part of it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be a part. But that's kind of the character of who he is. And he's gone. And 3 years ago, we've talked about programs that have done well. They're 8-2 this year, but he took over a program that was winless. Had not won a game. Like the hairs on my head, that's how many games they had won. And now they're 8-2, come off a win over Leon High. And,
I was pointing at your hairs. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. But see, he thinks I'm getting ready to get to him right now, but I want him to see, because I think it's important for him to see our high school review, the Hankerson highlights. Why are you laughing already? Because you will notice in the background, there's going to be a team featured in there that Coach Hill ought to know.
MicknRick, greetings and salutations on this crisp fall evening. This is the final Hanks High School segment of the year for the regular season. It's been a great year of action, and we congratulate all of the coaches and players for sticking it out, representing their schools and community this season. Kudos to you all. So without further ado, let's get to the action. Thursday night, Lincoln took care of Trinity Christian 19-6. Now Trinity, they've come to Tallahassee 3 times and left with how many wins? 0. Wakulla, they beat the absolute dog stew out of Tiles 42-7. Florida High was not to be outdone as they suffocated Swanee 35-6.
Who's that?
JP2 showed their 2A muscle by beating 7A Leon 21-6. But hell, everybody did that this season. Jefferson County, they played hard for their head coach Ira Reynolds in his final game, but fell 23-20 to Maclay. North Florida Christian, they ended the season from hell for FAMU DRS by demolishing them 40-0. And in our INSiiGHTS game of the week, Madison County came over to play Rickers. And coach, I don't think I've ever seen this before. Rickers had the ball a total of 2 possessions in the second half. Yes, you heard me correct. 2.
What?
TWOTOTOO. Spell it however you want. 2 possessions in the second half and fell 14-13.
Wow.
Now, over in South Georgia, Thomasville and Brooks County had byes as they prepare for their playoff run. So let's start right there with the playoff picture. Friday night, Thomasville will take on Washington County, and Saturday, Brooks County will take on Monroe County. Good luck to our friends in South Georgia. Now back home, the playoff picture shapes up as such. In Class 1A, Madison County will take on INSiiGHTS. No question there. I'm definitely taking Mad County. In Class 2A, Monroe had a great season and they will be rewarded with a first round bye. Meanwhile, JP2 will take on North Florida Christian. And although North Florida Christian is a gritty group with a lot of experience, I think JP2 is on somewhat of a mission this year. They'll get out of the first round. In Class 3A, Florida High will take on Episcopal, definitely taking the Florida High Seminoles there. In Class 4A, Gadsden County backs into the playoffs and will travel to Jacksonville to take on Andrew Jackson. As much as I love my guy, Corey Fuller, our friend, coach, not going to happen this year. Andrew Jackson will take this victory. Prove me wrong. In Class 5A, Wakulla will take on Bishop Kenny. It's just so hard to win in Wakulla. And now you're talking about doing it in the playoffs. Not going to happen. No, sir. The War Eagles will take that one. Now, in 6A, my upset specials for the first round. Lincoln will travel to Gainesville. And Coach Jimmy Tyson has his team playing with a lot of momentum. They are rip roaring and ready to go. I'm taking the Trojans in Gainesville.
Ooh.
And now you have my guy, Quentin Lewis, traveling to Pensacola Pine Forest. Call it what you want. Call me a homer. I don't care. I'm taking my guy and the Records Raiders. And they're going to defeat Pensacola Pine Forest, who, by the way, has not lost a game since week 1 when they lost to West Florida. I'm taking the Raiders. And now, on the college front, there will be hurricane warnings in Tallahassee this weekend as Miami takes on Florida State. Considering the way they've played, I'm afraid to admit that I'm a Hurricanes fan. It is hard to watch that tomfoolery each week. So much so that I haven't seen them play since the Michigan State debacle. Out there tackling them damn selves. Heavens to Betsy. Nobody got time for that foolishness. So on to the only team that truly matters. My FAMU Rattlers went into Baton Rouge and welcomed Southern to the SWAC. Oh, yes, I have footage. Roll the tape, coach.
Where are the people going? Everybody in blue.
Enough said. Arkansas Pine Bluff, you are on the clock. Stay safe and get vaccinated. See you next week.
Wait.
He said, where are they going? Where are the people in blue going?
Oh my goodness. I love that dude.
Coach, Coach, I had to get you on to be a part of that now because I wanted you to see JP2 and what we think of what you've been doing with him. But Earl Hankerson, and you know him, he's a little extra. He gets a little involved doing his high school highlights. Coach, welcome to our show.
Welcome, Coach.
Coach, I appreciate it. It's a pleasure and an honor. Like I said before, you're legendary in this community, and what you guys have done and what you do, and it's definitely a truly honor to be back on the show. Like you said before, you know, we had a brief stint together at the beginning of this thing, and I think what you've done is just amazing, and I appreciate what you do in the community, Coach.
Well, thank you, Coach. I appreciate it. You were part of us getting started. And so you know from whence we came when we were over there eating wings and doing the live show over there.
Absolutely.
And then we grew to covering high school sports and we're on television until COVID-19 came in and kind of sidelined us a little bit from doing things. And I went back to get some highlights from your team this season. And we got to work a little bit since you're the AD over there because we need to be able to come out there and just do some of your games. I mean,
yes, sir.
The whole thing,
whenever you want to come.
Thing, what we do is try to give kids an opportunity.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's all. And Coach, you've been working in the community, working with these kids and doing so much with them. It's been a part of who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I was fortunate enough to coach the very first Pop Warner team at Chairs and be a part of the growth of that. And you know, it's been going since then. You know, I've coached in this community for almost 20 years now, man. Between flag football and you know, youth sports at YMCA and then Pop Warner and you know, and some middle school football, a little JV football, high school football, and then I ended up, you know, doing my little sports program, and now I'm back in the high school, and I can tell you, man, it's a blessing to be able to be a blessing, you know, and for me, that's all I've ever wanted to be is give back to the community. You know, I tell my story is, you know, I feel like coaches saved my life when I was growing up, and I want to be that for somebody else.
Well, Rick, I know you probably don't know, but Coach started over there at Godby. He was a Cougar.
Not was, always will be. APG, baby.
And I love that. I love that. You know, Godby alum, it's just something special about him in this city.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, APG, man. I mean, if it wasn't for, you know, coaches like Coach Witters and Coach Mark Feely and, you know, Coach Daniels and all those guys that were over there, man, that, you know, those are guys that I still look up to this day. You know, I tell Rocky Hanna every time I see him, you know, Rocky, a lot of people don't know Rocky was a high school football coach before he was anything else. And Rocky was our coach. He coached DBs over there with us. And, you know, I tell him, I said, man, you've always been a pillar of this community, and you've always been pouring into kids' lives. And I appreciate what you're doing, you know, even now in the political realm.
Well, would you have ever thought when you left Godby that you would end up making history as being first Black administrator, athletic administrator over at JP2? Did you ever think that your career would take that kind of turn?
Absolutely not. And like I said, you know, I was just fortunate enough to be able to give some kids some direction on the field. And you know, when you walk off that field and you have kids looking up to you and you know that you've poured into some kids' lives, that to me, that was enough. And, you know, and as I grew and, you know, my faith grew and my family grew and my opportunities in this community grew, I realized that it was more to it than just coaching on the field. And, you know, and now that I'm the athletic director, I'm also the dean of students at JP2 this year. It's my first year being the dean of students. And so now I get to spend a lot of time in the classrooms with kids and just making sure that they're doing what they need to do. And, you know, and I tell them that when I took that position over, it's not about being more of a disciplinary, but I want to talk to every kid in that school and find out what their aspirations are, what their dreams are, and where they want to be. And we have those conversations. And so it's about helping these kids get to the next level. If it's sports, that's great. If not, then what is it that we can do to help you get to the next level in your life, in your career?
Well, two things. One, JP2 is small enough you could talk to every kid over there.
Absolutely.
And two, the fact that the longer you stay, they see in you the qualities that'll help their program, and they keep getting you involved more and more with the students.
Absolutely. Yeah, my administration has been awesome. You know, when I came in and my vision, and I told them what my vision was, and everybody has been on board with my vision and how I want to grow this program, and we're doing it the right way. You know, I mean, we're getting kids out of elementary, out of middle school to come in and see this program and want to be a Panther. You know, I mean, and that's the thing about it. It's, you know, it's not about just being there for sports. I want you to be a Panther and what that entails. I mean, we talk about mind, body, and spirit, and that's one of the things that we push. You know, I mean, you know, our priest there, Father Tom, he does a tremendous job with the spiritual side of it. And and for me, it's about the mind and the body. We're shaping young men and young women to be great athletes, but we're also trying to give them the mental aspect of it, behind being athletes and behind being a productive citizen at the next level.
Has any tell us about some of the kids that you had at Chairs and when you started that program? All of them have pretty much graduated now.
Man, Ronnie Harrison. I always talk about Ronnie Harrison. He played for us when he was out there at 8 years old.
Now
Garrett
with the
McGinn,
Cleveland Browns.
now he's with the Cleveland Browns. Yep, and Garrett McGinn played for us out there. Garrett is playing over in Jacksonville. I coached Garrett at Chairs and at Florida High, so had an opportunity to watch both of those guys grow. Kids like Tevin Floyd. Tevin Floyd played. He's playing in the Canadian League right now. And then you talk about baseball, Gage West, and a lot of those kids that played baseball for us out there at Chairs are also playing in the minor leagues and major leagues. So we've had an impact on kids' lives for a very long time. And I still talk to those guys out there, Mike Watkins and Corey Simon and all those guys that have taken over that program, and still in touch with those guys because that means something to me. That program, it was my baby. I coached the very first team. I was out there marking fields, fighting with the city commissioners about bathrooms. You know how it is when you build a program, you don't walk away from it. And so
same thing in college now.
Same thing in college. Same thing in college. So it's exciting to watch that program flourish and still do what it does. And we had an opportunity this past week to do some stuff with Magic Johnson. I'm not sure if you saw that, Coach, but Magic was in town, and I was fortunate enough to be able to take a group of kids down to talk to Magic about mental health. Mental health is a huge part of what's going on right now with COVID. People don't realize that these kids, that was their outlet. Sports and being with their friends have always been an outlet for a lot of our kids in general. And when you take that away from them, they turn to the streets. They turn to things that aren't good for them. And we don't like to talk about our mental health, but it's really a big part of our growth and our upbringing and our life going forward.
And Coach, you're very accurate in that description. Now, sports wasn't just about the kids. Us old people, sports was always been our outlet, even though we weren't playing it, to be able to watch it, be entertained.
Absolutely.
How long was sports? The only thing you even watched on TV was the sports. Even as a grown man, my wife would have to tell me the news because I was busy watching the sports where
absolutely
things were just lighthearted, and it, for the most part, had a good ending to it.
Yeah. So it's good, man. It's good to be back on the field. For us, like I said, this is a program, like you said. When I took it over, they hadn't won a game, and frankly, Coach, they couldn't field a team, and so we got to the first year, we filled a team, and we went 3-7 last year. We went 7-3, and this year, we're 8-2, and with opportunity to advance in the playoffs and really take this show on the road. I think we have a young team, but I think we have a talented enough team to be able to advance deep into the playoffs.
Coach, are you senior heavy, or do you have some kids that'll be coming back?
Coach, if you look at my roster, I have 16 sophomores that are playing and the majority of those kids are starting. My starting quarterback is a sophomore. He was a freshman last year. My two starting tailbacks are all sophomores. Pretty much my O-line and D-line are sophomores. Got a freshman center. I got a really young team. I'm going to lose 4 seniors this year. And, anytime you lose seniors, it's tough because you got to fill those voids. Last year we lost Terry Young, which was probably one of the top kids in the country coming out of high school. And, having to fill that void was tough. But what we did is we played more team ball than individual ball. And once you become a full team, and it's taken us a couple years to understand that and see that. But once we play as a team, we play really good football. And I think that, my sophomore class, I got some real talented kids in the junior class. Makari Vickers, which is number 6 guy, DB in the nation. And, he's in that junior class. And then, I got Leon Washington, Tremaine Hughes, and a couple other guys in that sophomore class that'll be top 100 kids, Coach. So I think we're right where we need to be. Kind of the meat of that offense and the meat of that defense is juniors and sophomores. And so, the next 2 years is going to be tough for anybody that lines up in front of these kids.
Coach, what position Tremaine Hughes plays for you?
He's the quarterback. He's my quarterback.
Coach, you're calling names of kids that we did middle school games on.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And they were champs. I mean, they were. And I've been trying to find that kid to see where he went. He's over there with you. Oh, you got a strong right. Leon Washington. Oh yeah, I know those kids. We covered 2 seasons. We were the only ones in the country doing middle school games.
Yeah, Coach. So if you look at it, those are the kids that that same group won the Pop Warner Championship
from Cheers, from your program.
From Cheers.
I was going to ask that, Coach, but I said, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to step on that or not.
But. Yep. And Coach Hughes, which is Tremaine's dad, he's my OC. He's been with those kids for a while, and him and I knew each other. And coming out of Cheers, him and I had talked a while back, and and he told me that for him, keeping those kids together was very important. And then they talked about coming to JP2, and so once they got to high school, they made that decision to come to JP2, and it was just it's been a great relationship. Coach Hughes does a great job with the offense. I kind of do a little bit on the defense, and I got 2 other guys on the defense, Jared and Bird, that does a really good job with my defense. But I can tell you from a coaching standpoint, we're solid. And then we got a group of kids, man, that just flat out know how to play football and know how to win. And coach, that's a big thing. You look at programs like Florida State, until they find a way to win again, until they understand how to win, it's going to be a long season for them, and that's one of the thing about these kids. They know how to win. And when you got a group of kids that know how to win, Coach, it's fun to coach. It's fun to coach them.
Coach, you have some. I mean, you have the last 2 or 3 minutes of the program have just actually illuminated my thoughts and my concerns about some kids. And then when you start talking about that sophomore class, I said, I bet some of those kids are the same ones that we saw. And because we were not active because of COVID, we didn't know where they were.
Yep.
And now that I know they're with you, you getting ready to pose nightmares for some people.
Coach, we've it's funny because people try to figure out, how we're doing it, but we're putting up 50 something points a game, and defensive pitching shutouts, and it's just amazing, and that's one of the reasons why we schedule some of the teams we schedule, because I know we're a 2A school, but we don't consider ourselves a 2A school. We want to line up and play some of the big boys. Last year we beat Charles. This year we beat Leon. Next year we'll play a couple of other big boys in town, and we just want to solidify who we are in the community.
Coach, I'm gonna say this again. I know you have a million things on your mind, but as you come to next year, let us know, because we need to do a couple of your games.
Absolutely.
And we need people to see, and we need to have that tape up there.
Absolutely.
For all the college coaches to be able to get a copy of the tape. I know you tape everything for them.
Absolutely.
But we also have it out there where we always tell those kids, all our stuff is free, Coach. You can go back on there. It's always been free. We got 300 tapes up there.
Yep.
So you can send them to any college you want to, parents, nieces, grandma, grandpa, especially grandma and grandpa. They're the ones that send you a check.
Absolutely.
Coach, I'm loving you. I could talk to you for a minute. You have really, this is why we do this.
Absolutely.
To let people know about the programs, Coach.
Yep. Coach, like I said, man, from the beginning, you guys are awesome, and what you're doing is just amazing. And keep doing what you're doing, Coach. We appreciate you. We see you, and I can tell you right now, we couldn't do it without you. It's guys like you that give these kids hope and give them an opportunity, and so we appreciate everything you guys are doing.
Coach, you're way too kind, but you're in the trenches every day. And, I'm listening to you. I'm like, he's AD. He's a football coach. Now he's dean of students. I hope all that's reflected in your check. But you are the one that's in the trenches every day. I had my time. Where I am now is just kind of easy and coasting. I leave it to you guys with that passion. To have that concern about the students, and it's appreciated. We need you to continue to do what you're doing.
Yes, sir.
And we haven't been in touch in a long time, but that stopped. I need to say thank you. Last year, you had my daughter with the boys basketball team on the staff over there.
Absolutely, man. It was heartbreaking to lose her. I tried to keep her, but I understand, man. Anytime you get an opportunity to do better, man, and increase your stock, you got to do it. And hopefully I get an opportunity to see her again and maybe get her again on my staff. But she was amazing, man. She's a heck of a basketball coach. Apple definitely didn't fall from the tree. She knows her stuff, man, and so I appreciate you lending her to me for that short period of time.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And we talk about Milan, and those who've known her a long time, we call her Squirt. And
Yep.
in fact, she had her first jamboree tonight against JP2 over at Maclay tonight.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I'm getting texts from my wife letting me know how they were doing and stuff. But
I hadn't heard yet, so don't spoil it for me.
I won't, Coach. I won't say anything. Rick, anything you like to ask, Coach?
Yeah, just one thing, Coach. And again, thanks for joining us. You mentioned that this was a calling. When did you know that this was your calling? And where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
It's funny because my background is marketing and kind of what Coach talked about. I worked for a couple of television stations. I own my own business, and I've always done that. And this coaching thing was always kind of like a side gig. I did it to give back to the community, and it's amazing when JP2 came calling, and I was just at awe that somebody would pay me to do what I love to do. And so I stepped back and I looked at it, and I tell you, I took a pay cut to be here, but my heart is full. And to do what I get to do every day, and I tell people all the time, it's almost like retirement. First of all, I can't believe that somebody's going to pay me to do what I was doing for free for almost 20 years, and so I get a chance to do that, man. But early on, when and Coach Clay, talked about it. My boys played Pop Warner, and anytime they were involved in something, I put my whole heart, my whole family was involved in it. And so at that point, I knew it was a calling for me. And, it was my ministry to go out there every Saturday and set those fields up and coach those teams and every Saturday evening to break it down. And I did that for several years and watch these kids get out of this community. And some of them didn't get out, but some of them came and gave back. I had some kids that coached with me at Pop Warner. I had a couple kids when I first started at JP2 that came out and helped me coach. And I just wanted to give them a platform, somewhere that they can be in, somewhere they can call their home, call their own. And so I've always been that guy to give kids an opportunity. But it's been a calling for a while. It's just now it's a calling that they pay me to do. And, I've been fortunate. I've been blessed to get to do what I guess is called my dream job. People talk about having a dream job. And to me, man, this is really my dream job.
It's awesome.
Well, Coach, beyond a shadow of a doubt, we appreciate you. We will see you again.
Absolutely.
And we wish you much luck through this playoffs. And you have some kids over there that we know that we've seen play as little kids.
Yep.
I'm excited for you. Now that I know where some of them are, I'm excited.
Coach, you got to come see us, Coach. You got to come see it for yourself.
Coach,
you got to come see it for yourself. Hey, listen, I'm gonna hold you to it now. I go back and I watch a lot of them old Florida High games where I can watch my boys play and that good quality that you had. And so I'm gonna hold you to it, man. I look forward to having y'all out on the field one day.
Coach, I absolutely 100% appreciate it. And like I said, we look forward to it. And Coach, if we had more time, we would keep you longer. But we have a guy coming on doing the high school boys, and that will be Maclay High School boys. But Coach, we're gonna make sure that we have you back and that we cover JP2 with every bit of the attention that they deserve.
I appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Hey, God bless, man. Y'all be good. We'll talk to you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here today with an established boys basketball program with a coach that's bordering on the line of legendary status. He's been successful pretty much everywhere he's been. His family, longtime Tallahassee and Monticello residents. And that's the borderline legendary Gene Granger. Welcome to our show, Gene and Maclay High School.
Thank you for having us, Coach Clayton.
Thank you.
Coach, it's almost that time of year again. This is our time, basketball.
Yes, it is here, and we're excited. Today was the first day we were allowed to officially start practicing. So the way that we do it traditionally is we get thinking, and so right now you see our guys are out of school, but we're done for the day. They get to go home and do their work because we got in early this morning before school started and got our first practice out the way today, and then we'll go early in the morning for a few days, and then we'll get into the routine of going later after school experience. So now with that experience and that quality of players that we have returning is going to improve, our season. I think it's going to improve our style of play. We have a lot of guys who now have experience of playing against quality competition, and we're looking forward to a good year. We've had a great summer with going to camp. We went to University of West Florida's camp, went to FSU's basketball team camp, and those experiences, I think, allowed our team to gather some more chemistry along with the new components of our new students that are here now. And so we know that we got to prepare our team for that quality of competition when it comes into playoffs, because no matter what size school you are, at that point, everybody has an ability to win. And so we want to be able to have seen all forms of competition before we get to district play, and then hopefully, building into the state championship run or even going into the playoffs, which we've, had the experience of knowing what quality of a competition we need to face and prepare for, because we've had the experience of playing in the state finals and going to the Final Four and going into that as a player, myself, and even as a coach. We've seen that road, so we know what quality of competition we need to play on every night, versus 2 times a year or 3 times a year. We try to play someone difficult as we can, given the schedule and given the proximity of how we can travel. So that's why our schedule has consistently always increased in competition, and we're going to continue to do that.
Tell me why you selected these 2 gentlemen to represent Maclay today.
Well, I selected all of our returning guys. Actually, we have one that is in surgery. He had surgery 2 weeks ago for his eye, and so he had a follow-up appointment today, and it had a small conflict with our time. And then another returning player, Sawyer Davis, he also has another engagement that we wanted to also introduce those two names to you. But today, Colin McAllister, who is a returning point guard for us, is a junior. And then we have Blaze Wallace, also a returner, 3-year varsity player who, actually a 4-year varsity player who started playing varsity as an 8th grader. Blaze Wallace, Colin McAllister, point guard, great shooter, can handle the ball, defensive pressure. Blaze Wallace, who is a high percentage field goal shooter, also can get to the free throw line and can defend almost any position, being that he's very big and strong, and so we can move and play differently on the defensive end and more aggressive than I think in tradition has been at Maclay.
Colin, I'm gonna pick on you for a minute here. I need you to tell everybody about Blaze. Introduce Blaze. Tell us about Blaze. And look at him. He's like already nervous about what you might say. Tell us about him. Tell everybody what he brings to the program and what he means to you and what you think of him. Share with him what everybody else, what we don't know. Tell us about Blaze.
Blaze, he brings it every night. There's not a night where he doesn't go hard. He takes it. He plays hard on the court, and like every day he just comes in the gym trying to get better. Me and him, since we're like both want it like super bad, we're both going at each other each practice and every practice. There's not going to be like a scrap or anything like that. Like Like at every practice is going to be like that. We're always jawing at each other, trying to get better, because we know if we get better, the team's going to get better as well. So yeah, that's a brother to me. And yeah.
Blaze, your chance to tell us about your point guard.
Colin. This is gonna be his second year on varsity. His first year, last year, played really good, but this year we're gonna need him to step up to the plate a little bit more. Like, he's gonna be our number one ball handler, and we're gonna need him a lot this year. He's gonna be our Chris Paul this year. He's practiced, like, he comes up ready to play, and he's not scared of anybody. Like, nobody intimidates him, and he's just always ready to play. And off the court, he's a really, really cool guy, and it's funny, and we're good friends.
Okay, who's the jokester on the team?
Colin.
I figured.
Yeah, I like to keep it happy. I like to play. I play how I feel. So, I always bring the energy.
Okay, you behind his back, you do a Coach Granger imitation.
I do, actually.
I think they got my foot stomped down.
Yeah.
My foot stomp is what they all say. They know to look my way when that foot is stomping.
Colin, can you share imitation of him?
Man, just had a hard practice. I don't know if I can get it down right now.
I'm gonna ask them.
So personally, I'm looking for our team to show growth individually, and I feel like if we show growth individually, the whole team will come together and be a better team overall. So I just want us to all get better, and if we all get better, the team will get better. I'm expecting us to do really well this season and show everybody what we've been working on over the summer.
Blaze, you've been a 4-year player on the varsity team, and you're a senior this year.
No, he's still a junior.
Still a junior. Okay, well, that's even better. Every game is important, but who do you look forward to playing?
This year, it's always a child's game. Like, every year it's a child's game. It's just that game brings a certain amount of energy, and like the stands are always packed. Like, it's just surreal. Like, like each game, like because it's a big rivalry between us and them. It's really fun.
Wow, you just told me something. That was not the answer that I was expecting to hear. And that's the reason we asked these questions. That was not what I was expecting, child. I really wasn't. Coach, that's a game that everybody's there.
We're standing room only, either there at our place or either there or at our place. And it's been like that since I started coaching at Maclay, and it is a energetic environment, and I would say it's the Duke and North Carolina environment that you might see on TV. If you don't take a moment to actually look where you are, you will think you're in a madhouse where you're watching a fully packed game that two competitive teams are going at it, but we're actually in the same neighborhood.
Coach, how you let that slip by me that I didn't know about that? I'm gonna hold you.
Well, we won't let it slide by this year. We actually took the game off the schedule because it got so crowded at one point, and so we peeled back on having it for 1 year, and then we just got back doing it again, where we were playing each other. But it was very, very, very fun environment. The students are all friends at the end of it. And I think that, it's always going to be a competitive environment and a fun environment, just because we're two schools where a lot of the students and a lot of the community at both schools, they actually know each other very well. So it's a fun environment, and you got the big school playing the small school. And it just paints a great picture when we play those games. So that's going to be a very, very highly anticipated game for us. It's the first game coming back from the holiday break, and guys are going to be ready to go. We go to Daytona Beach for 3 days to play in a holiday tournament. We play up here for the Capital City Classic for the holiday tournament, and then that game is the first one we get back. And so we're going to be playing as many competitive games that we can, and in preparation for this upcoming season. Our size is we're the biggest team we've ever had. We have 6'8" and 6'6" and 6'6", and you got a lot of guys that people don't know how big actually our guys have grown. Guys just keep growing, and you kind of see your players as 8th graders, as 9th graders, but a part of where we are in preps, this prep level of high school, is that everyone continues to grow, and everyone is naturally going to get stronger, bigger, faster, and all of these guys have been in the program now going on 3 and 4 years, starting as JV players, and so now these guys are varsity players. And on our guard side, we have guys who really can shoot the ball, and that being able to, like you mentioned earlier, bringing the ball up the court with confidence, not being concerned about that pressure that we know we're going to get, because we can score, and so people are going to try to speed us up. So we got guys now that can handle that pressure, and then we got guys on the other side of it that can receive the ball, and we have size that can finish plays in the paint and give us second chance opportunities and third chance opportunities because of our rebounding ability. And so the size that we have is probably the biggest component that most people, when you compare our teams in the past.
Hey, they're usually not that big. You go talk about Maclay's with that type of size. That is not usually the case.
Not in high school. Jeez.
Not at small Maclay. So they might have a little bit of something to be worried about this year.
Ooh.
They might have a little bit to be worried about. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But we also have some your favorite guys.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let me get my gun out. Hold on. Let me get my gun, because I know I'm about to shoot some people today. I already know.
You're gonna have to shoot somebody today.
No, I'm gonna have to today.
Oh my goodness. We got, and then when it's time, you got people like Todd Lampley, who talks more noise than anybody. Now he sat his butt over here the whole time, and he runs and goes somewhere.
You know what?
He likes
That's
to
a perfect screen.
That's
a perfect screen for him. A black screen. I don't want to see him. I don't want to hear him. Mute him.
That's appropriate.
Appropriate, yes.
My boy say that is appropriate for him. Oh no, he say that's appropriate for them. Now that's funny.
Come to the light, Todd. Come to the light. Walk towards the light. It's okay.
Where's the rest of the fellas?
Hey, each person has to be their own person. Each person has to be their own person. Where's your room?
I don't know where he at. Look, he's your brother.
Hey, that depends. Some days we brothers, some days we ain't.
Oh! Look how he has us, Coach. Look at him. Just look at him.
Hey, Rick.
What's up, T?
This is the Pick'em segment, right?
Hey, Rick, I think Todd and Kinsey has a bad connection where you can't hear him, because that's horrible. Did you pay your internet?
You can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
It's your internet connection.
Oh man.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You hear him, Todd, right?
Look,
Todd,
hey, can y'all hear me?
a little bit. You're breaking up, so.
Damn.
I can hear. I can hear the daggone cowboy.
Well, look. I just wanted y'all to get used to the view and the pick'em segment.
Oh shit! See, this is okay. See, I was gonna give you another week, right? I really was gonna give you and Sports Diva and all y'all another week, but now.
Well, then we have we also have somebody I want to introduce to you. You've heard us talk about Clifton. He's the guy who called in or wrote his numbers down there one week and messed around and beat almost everybody that week.
Right.
Clifton, welcome to the show.
Appreciate it, y'all. Hear me? Can you hear me?
We hear you. We hear you a little bit.
Okay.
Look,
Todd really don't want anybody to hear anybody. See,
seems like he's struggling to hear everybody. Y'all might have the problem.
Well, that would be spoken like a Cowboy fan. Rick, did you see Clifton turn up a drink? What was that he was drinking?
I didn't see what he was drinking, but I want to know. I want to see it in slow mo.
Nah.
He ain't answering, no.
Well, he said it's just water.
Not in a can. He ain't drinking water in a can. That's not what he's doing.
Cliff, it's all right, man. It's all right. It's all right. We're family. We're home.
Look, let it do what it do.
Turn it up. Matter of fact, hey, Bob. Hey, let me get some Voss. Yeah. 2 cubes, 2.
Oh man. Hey, Todd started off hot, then people started to catch him. And this last week he started to put a little distance between him and scared everybody else from coming on the show. Todd, people just don't. They don't even want to have nothing to say. They don't even want to face the Cowboys rolling like they rolling.
Right. But we got set on our head yesterday, though, or Sunday.
Yeah. But that ain't happening often.
Right. Yeah.
And plus, you able to pick who you going with. You know, you will pick somebody else if you think the Cowboys going down. You be trying to get that $100 certificate.
You better hurry up and know it. Yeah. But I did have a suggestion though.
Oh Lord.
No, seriously, on the serious note, we picked, pretty much the guys that were on the show: Dallas, Tampa Bay, the Deadskins, because you can't say Redskins, that's politically incorrect. The Jets and the Browns, and the Steeler guy didn't show up, right?
Oh no. Oh, I heard from him after Pittsburgh won.
Okay. Well, I mean, we pretty much know Dallas is going to win. Tampa Bay is 50-50. Everybody else is probably going to lose. So we should add a game of the week, the most exciting game, that might.
Mr. Lampley, if you look at your games, we almost had 10 games now that you're picking from.
You did do that last week. You did.
Yeah, that's what you got. That's what you got the rest of the way going in.
Sounds good. That's
what you got. So look, you made the Deadskins guy get off the phone. You made him get off.
Left.
you made Rick disappear.
Man, poof.
Now, Clifton, we had a show that we did where electricity was out. So Rick did the broadcast from his car. As the lights went down, it was, it's around getting close to 8 o'clock. He looking outside the car window, talking about, man, coach, it's looking like the purge around here.
Yeah, I've seen it.
He said it looked like the purge. That might have been one of his best lines. He was like, man. Oh man, I got to go. We got to hurry up and wrap this up so I can go back inside.
Hey Mickey, did he say stay on the phone with me till I get in the house?
Oh, Todd, there you go. I might need to find out what's in your cup. All right, here comes the reporter. He come back.
This fraganackle junk. What you do, Todd? What you do? Hey, you got Jerry Jones to pay. You paid off Jerry Jones. Because I know it was him.
Oh, I told him about you.
I didn't hear you, Rick.
Rick, I told him about you in the Purge.
Oh.
I said, did Rick tell you to stay with him until he got in the house?
See, I was surrounded by cowboys. That's what it was, and I just had to get my guns.
Right.
I got guns too.
Clifton, tell him who your team is, Clifton.
I roll with the Tampa Bay from Florida, but I'm always be a Cowboy fan. Come on.
My man.
Gosh, man, I'm surrounded by them. Just surrounded by them. Why? What have I done? Lord, why have ye forsaken me? Why? Dealing with this.
Todd say, my man.
All right, so on the serious side, though, really, I mean, are y'all happy where y'all are halfway through the season?
Well, I'm very happy. Last weekend didn't work out for us, and I kind of knew that was coming. Man, everybody talking about our schedule's easy and this and that. You got to play every week. And they did not come to play yesterday. But they've shown me that they can play. And, I was a little skeptical of Dak, but he's actually had he's improved his accuracy, and that's what he needed to do. And with that, this team is ready to roll, man. I mean, I'm looking forward to it, going down the stretch.
What you say, Clifton?
Yeah, I co-sign that. I agree with that. I'm happy with them boys. I think they're doing real good.
So this is what I don't understand, though, Cliff. I mean, you say you ride with the boys, but you got is that a SAP jersey? I only see 9 back there, so I don't know if it's 99, 97. You got a Bucks jersey hanging up, man.
Right.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
Come
I'm
on.
from Florida. I'm gonna have to roll with the Bucks. Big Seminole fan. I've been a Buck fan since Derrick Brooks and Dexter Jackson. All them boys went down there and got that ring.
Oh, you don't make Clifton back up now. He gonna man up. He ain't gonna back down now.
I'm just trying to understand. I'm a reporter. I try to understand things here. That's all. It's just kind of so the first game of the season, though, then Cliff, you were just first game of the season. You didn't know which way to go, did you? You're like, well, if he makes the field goal, good. If he doesn't, good. You're just happy all around, weren't you?
Yeah. Every time they play each other, man, it's a good feeling all the way around. Either way it goes.
I can't take it. I can't take it, Coach. I can't take it.
I hear you, Todd. Rick tried to jump on the rookie and give Clifton a hard time.
I'm not. No. I'm trying to understand. That's all. I am unbiased in this conversation, definitely.
Oh, you unbiased about the Cowboys now?
Oh no! I hate them. No. That's one thing. I have one team now. I used to have 2. I only have one team now.
So you just answered your own question. You understand having 2 teams, right? Right.
Well, cheered for whoever played Dallas. I mean, so I guess honestly I only had one team.
Okay, I got
it's okay. I mean, but I see what you're saying. I see how you could twist that, and I see that.
Right.
But Coach, you ain't out of this conversation either, because it's been a crazy 2 weeks up there in Cleveland.
Right.
Now, have y'all got it? Now that the OBJ thing is out the way, are y'all on path now, or?
Yeah, we on.
What's going to happen?
I'm not sold on Baker. It's just always a reason why he doesn't play with. And I do understand about OBJ. And when you listen to some of the receivers who play the game, you understand that he's gonna have to go to a system that kind of allows him to freelance a little bit. And Cleveland's offensive system was never that way under Stefanski. Under Kitchens, you know, they kind of drew the stuff up in the dirt when they were standing there in the huddle. So, Todd, you know, you make that little extra move to shake and get open in.
Yeah.
You know, you throwing a timing pattern, you know, while you doing this, they're already
ball and went past you, right?
Your ball and went by you.
Right.
You know, and the numbers speak for themselves, how much better they play without him.
Right.
You know, I liked OBJ. He does. I was in Dallas when he played the game of his career with Cleveland, and single-handedly beat him in AT&T. But for $14 million a year, I expect him to do a little bit more than that.
Right.
You know, so Cleveland, I mean, all of it was not OBJ's fault. But the thing is that they're talking about how much all the players loved him. And they did, because he was taking them home. He was giving them his clothes, and he was buying them stuff and all that kind of stuff, you know. So, you know, they go to the highest bidder. But there was some stuff, you know, at the time you and I might have talked about, you know, so it was some stuff going on in the locker room.
Right.
And it was creating a rift. You know, he was telling his side of the story and all this, you know, other players wearing shirts, free OBJ and all that. You get paid $15 million a year. You on another team. What you got to do with it?
Right,
you know?
right.
And what LeBron had to do with it. But they said that was when they played in LA. They had a suite. All the NBA players, all his boys out there didn't play with it. And I just thought body language to me as a coach tells me a lot. I mean, he dropping the ball, act like he ain't give a damn. I mean, he ain't giving forth no ever. Like, y'all ain't threw to me all day. Don't throw to me now. You know, so we will see. And for them Pittsburgh Steelers fans who I haven't heard from all year, and was supposed to be on the Pick'em crew, but when they were getting their butts tore out the frame, I ain't hear from them. As soon as they beat Cleveland, oh my God, here comes the Pittsburgh. I'll say, oh, now you a fan. I'm a Cleveland Brown fan. I was with them sucker when they was 0-16 and 1-15. That's how you are when you're a fan. You with your team, you ride or die.
Ride or die.
When start winning.
Right, win, lose, or draw.
I had people, I'd be traveling, and my wife would say, "Are you serious?" People would just walk up to me if I had Brown stuff on. You must obviously be from Cleveland if you pulling for the Browns.
Not really, though.
Because at that time, we wasn't beating nobody. And then people were sympathetic. I mean, Kevin and I would be somewhere, man. We'd be at the game in Nashville, and that people would be just so nice to us.
Right.
You know, yeah, maybe y'all will do better next year. You know,
yeah. I'm like, oh.
Basically.
Right.
Basically, you know, hey, you don't rant. I've not seen Rick get kicked off twice.
Man.
Twice, man.
Cliff, you take your time doing your selections. You must really take your picks a little seriously there.
Let's see. Let's see how I can do this. How you do this, Coach? Talk to me.
I'm just. We'll send them to you again, so you could.
Yeah, send it to me. Send it to me. Yeah.
And
let me get that.
You see, Todd, he got kicked off because he had to change his name from Rick the Reporter to whoever plays Dallas.
Right. As much as he hates Dallas, I told him he's Rick Stephen A. the Reporter. He hates Dallas as much as Stephen A. does.
Well, for a very good reason. A very good reason.
The fans.
He said, right. Stephen A. Smith hate him because of the fans.
That's what he say.
Oh, before we go, I got to bring up something that just came across. They said Deion Sanders survived the first round of interviews with Texas Christian.
Wow.
Texas Christian.
And TCU.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard about that.
Well, how
So
do you
he's
feel?
he's one of 5 finalists, and they say he did a heck of a job in the interview, which I heard when he interviewed at Arkansas, he did an excellent job. So that, I mean, he interviewed at FSU and Arkansas, but now he's interviewed at TCU this week.
Okay.
Do y'all think he'll leave?
And some people say that he's letting his assistants go. It said the injury to him isn't that bad, and he's giving his assistant coaches some basically interviews while working. I mean, on the job interviews, basically, and seeing what they can do for next year when he leaves. That's the scuttlebutt going around the SWAC fans.
Okay.
But that's believable. That's believable. I mean, he makes $300,000 at Jackson State, and they say that if he leaves, he has to give a percentage of it back. But what does that mean to Deion? Deion a millionaire. I mean, his kids are millionaires. I mean, he had generational wealth,
right?
You know, and I never thought he would stay at Jackson State, but I can't be mad at him for answering what the critics were saying, that he didn't have any experience. So he's gone on and he's getting experience. You know, so I can't be mad. And he went to HBC, like we say, he graduated from Talladega. Finished their online course.
Yeah.
I can't be mad at him.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen him stay a little bit longer, but you know, you say he's making 300,000. He's probably going to be making at least 3 or 4 million on this next move. So really, he could give it all back. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So he could give it all back.
Right. You know, and that might be the right thing to do too. You know, they could use it.
Right.
Ain't happening.
I can just say on the OBJ thing, and I think I told you this, Mick, you know, the offense is not set up for him, but when they throw you the ball, catch the ball. You can't be complaining, and we throw you the ball in crucial situations, and you put it on the ground. You know, I mean, I don't want to hear it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So and he's kind of like a disruptor, kind of like a T.O. You know, T.O. is a great player, but when he's in your locker room, I mean, it's swirling all the time, and that's not
OBJ
good.
to Dallas.
Oh.
Hey, we'll take him.
What'd you say, Clifford?
Hey, Dallas will take him. The Bucks, he'll play with Brady. Hey, we'll take him.
We got experience. We had T.O.
Right. So, and you had Michael Irvin.
But yeah, look, I love me some Mike though.
What did Mike say when he got drafted? He said, "Cowboys, them the ones with the star on the helmet, right?"
Right.
He said, "Yeah, oh, that's where I want to go because I'm a star."
Right. Man.
Leave it to Rick. He said, OBJ to Dallas.
Well, the brother can dream, can't he?
Right. Where do you think he will end up, though? I think New England.
I was surprised because Pete Carroll kept talking like he was going to claim him off the waiver wire.
Right.
But Cleveland tried. They did him a favor because they kept the salary high. They were negotiating, but they said, no, if we keep the salary high, nobody will pick you up at that amount. That limits the number of teams that'll take you.
Right.
That way, if you clear waivers, you can become a free agent.
Right.
And go where you want to go. They did him one then. They did him a favor the way they helped him handle it.
Plus, they're responsible for the remaining money anyway, right? Right. Yeah.
Are they?
They're responsible for a large percentage of it.
Yeah. Any veteran that's on the roster on day one, if they cut him after that, he's due his whole salary. If he's a veteran, that's why they wait like guys like, let's say Le'Veon Bell last year or whatever. They won't sign him for the first week. They'll sign him after the first week. That way, if they want to let him go, they can just wash their hands. Because if he's on the roster day one, he's getting it. Somebody else just a couple weeks ago. Oh, the linebacker the Cowboys cut, Jalen Smith. You know, you got to pay him. Which I like. I think the players, you know, I'm all for the players getting paid.
Right. How much money you gotta be making if you own a franchise and then talking about you broke?
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so New Orleans, you would think, I mean, he has ties to Louisiana. So New Orleans is probably in the mix. Someone mentioned the Raiders, New England. I think those are the three teams that he really focuses in on.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, Seattle and
Seattle. That's right. That's right with Russell.
See, he's gonna go somewhere too where his social life and extracurricular will be have an effect. He said they traded him to Cleveland to die. Well, you go from New York to Cleveland, that's a big culture shock.
Yeah, pretty much.
It is. Yeah.
Even
pretty much he died.
Right. Look, even the new Cleveland.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting because you know they were talking one time about Baltimore. Even.
I would think he'd want to go to someone that had a chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But again, he's got to fit into that culture and that locker room. And you know, that remains to be seen.
He fit in the Ravens
and somewhere that doesn't have a number one receiver too.
Right.
No, but that's why they were saying he would, without a number one receiver, he'd be a perfect fit in New England because he would get a lot of an hour sober.
Right.
You know, and drunk. And twice the legal limit.
Yeah.
You know, and they said, you know, the vehicle caught on fire. They could hear the lady screaming.
Wow.
I mean, that's, you know, that's just, I just.
Then, and then the Raiders released another player yesterday, first round draft pick. He's on social media waving a gun around, threatening people. Yeah, a kid named Arnett. He's from Ohio State too.
Yeah. But he had been had a troubled past, or they were saying before they even drafted him.
Right. Got 3 lawsuits against him as we speak.
3.
Right. As we speak. Right. And now he lost his income source. You know.
Exactly.
They don't think, man. They don't think.
You know, they spend so much time. The guys really do. They analyze you and they look at you, and then if you start to fall in the draft, they figure it's better to take a chance on you with talent, even with the issues, than to take somebody else without the issues.
Right.
You know, and you know, sometimes I just think they gamble too much with kids and young men that have shown a propensity to get in trouble and do things. Now they have a mistake, okay, as long as it's not a serious mistake.
Right.
But everybody's not okay. Cleveland has 2. I wasn't in favor of Hunt getting picked up. Our running back,
Hunt.
Yeah.
Okay.
And especially being in Cleveland where the incident took place. But
Wow.
he's kept himself fairly clean. And then the other kid, the big defensive tackle, there was a 3rd round draft pick from Michigan State that was in prison. And they have him now, but that kid, his first year playing, he's been out. He draft class for 3 years ago.
And he's a rookie now?
6'8", 315.
Big boy.
Tackle.
He starts?
Whoa.
Okay.
Wow.
315.
Wow.
You know, it's got to be hard, Coach, that to decide when to give a person another chance. I mean, because as an educator, you want to, people can make mistakes and you want to see them grow. People can mature. But then there comes a time where you've had your shot. And so it's a balance. How did you do that as a coach? How did you decide? How did you? I mean, I don't know if you ever had any serious things like that, but that's got to be tough.
That's a good question, Rick. I remember, my dad, who was my assistant one time and was the person that I tried to emulate in terms of coaching and getting a lot from him. And that's who Milan gets it from, his third generation coach. But I asked my dad, why was I always end up with the kids that were problems? That I was and people always thought, well, they were a problem, but you'll be able to handle them. You can control them. And so he made the point one time, he said, would you rather have a team full of choir boys or choir girls and get your butt beat, or would you take a chance on it? You gotta keep straight so you can win. And sometimes those were your most talented athletes.
Yeah.
And so you kind of try to set the tone on what you're going to allow and not allow. And when they kind of think you're a little crazy to begin with, they don't push you but so much. But you do get pushed. I've had teams, back in the day, they used to put every time you got arrested, it would be in the Tallahassee Democrat. And I would sit there in the driveway before I'd even leave, coming to work, reading the Democrat every morning, trying to make sure none of my kids were arrested. And one year I had about 4 of them that were arrested. And I was like, get out of here. Damn. I had to deal with that. So it's something you try to take chances with, and I mean, you try to take a good chance. You do as much as you can to minimize it in terms of bringing them in. But if they're very talented, they commonly say if the talent outweighs the risk, then you take them. But if the risk outweighs the talent, then you don't.
All right. Put them on a short leash. We have a guy that's a pretty good player, Randy Gregory, playing real well.
Psycho.
Look, huh?
Psycho Gregory.
I told a buddy of mine the other day, I said, thank God for weed legalization. They not legalized weed, he wasn't going to be playing because he was not going to stop smoking. And he can play. So we need him out there.
It's like, hey, need to trade him to Florida team. Gentlemen, Clifton, I'm gonna send you the link. We're gonna go and let you get on board and send your stuff in each week.
Okay.
How many weeks you been doing it, Clifton?
I think I participated once. I don't even believe I did it, but one time.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Hey. And already him passed a couple people. Hey, what did you say, Tyler? If you forget to save that, hit save. That's on you.
That's it. Right. What they say, that's a wrap.
Yeah, the hardest thing is not picking your own team so much. You got to know football. Yeah, that's the hardest thing.
Yeah. And from here on, you got to make sure you at least do as well as Rick and Sports Diva.
Why my name? Why Rick? Why? Everyone wants a piece of Rick. All right, come get it.
Ladies and
Lamp,
that's because you go hard, Rick. You go hard.
You got one more week, Lamp.
All right.
You got one more week.
All right.
And that's a wrap.
Look, hey.
That's a wrap. I've said it. It's on tape. It's on. Hey, that's all right. Hey, that's all right. And you run away with that sorry division, the NFC East too. You do that too.
Right.
And first round of the playoffs, I'm going to go ahead and call Tony Romo to tell him to whisper in Dak's ear so y'all can do what y'all do all the time. I'll show you. Hold on.
Oh, no. That's what he was getting up for.
I ain't messing with y'all, man. I ain't messing with y'all.
Stay up to date with the latest from INSiiGHTS. Visit our website at INSiiGHTS.com. 2 I's in the middle. INSiiGHTS.
INSiiGHTS is a copyright of Mac4 Enterprises, a Florida corporation. This broadcast is produced under the exclusive ownership of Mac4 Enterprises and is the intellectual property and trademark of Mac4 Enterprises. Comments of the host and other individual speakers on INSiiGHTS represent their independent thoughts and representation.
Appreciate y'all.